Hi, I hope you're doing well. Tell me, have you ever wondered about the stars, about life out there, about are there aliens out there? Are there maybe some types of organisms or life or anything like that in space, in the infinity of space? And surely you must think to yourself, well, if it's so infinite, maybe there is, right? Well, I'm here to talk to you about this, but also about exoplanets. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the basics. What are exoplanets? They're just planets outside our solar system. That's the simplest way I can put it. So far, according to NASA's tally of planets, there have been 6,000 planets discovered as of September 2025, which is a pretty big milestone. They can enter in multiple categories, so multiple different types of exoplanets are existing right now. So, according to a Japanese article called Exoplanets Past, Present, Future, the types depend on mass, on size, so if they're bigger or smaller than Earth. And there's two main types. So there's terrestrial rocky planets, which are like Earth basically, where the ground is solid and you can walk on it, right? It's rocks. And there's Neptunian planets that we call, so it's they are mostly made out of gas. You can not walk on them basically, so it's either water or gas. NASA has found that rocky planets are the most common ones. Now that you know what exoplanets are, you'd have to know, how do we find them, right? There's one principal method, the transit method. So basically what that method is you have like a radar or something like that looking at suns, so stars, from a distance and seeing, oh, is there something that's passing in front of it? So the way we detect how something is passing in front of the sun is basically that you're gonna see that there's less light coming through when something passes in front of it, right? Because there's something blocking the sun. So that's mostly how we find planets. We compare them after with the radius of the sun, and then we can tell, are they planets, are they asteroids, whatever. So yeah, basically how much light are we getting, and is there something blocking the light at some point in front of the sun? To answer the big question, is there life on exoplanets? Could there be life out there? There's mainly 6 requirements for there to be life on a planet. That's considering that we're talking about carbon-based life, which is the only life we know about, that's mostly made out of carbon atoms. The 6 requirements for this are basically, you have to have like a perfect temperature, right? It has to be in between -15 and 122 degrees Celsius, which is a pretty big range. You'd think that maybe it's too hot or too cold, but microorganisms can survive at different temperatures depending on the other components of the planet. Which brings me to my other point. There has to be some kind of water. It doesn't have to be liquid, surprisingly. It could be ice or snow or even gas, like in the atmosphere. Next, there's obviously energy. There has to be some kind of energy, like sun rays or something coming to the planet, because otherwise the organisms can't power themselves. So I won't get into how organisms can absorb photons and everything, but basically you just have to have some kind of energy coming in to the planet. Next, UV and radiation. They might seem like a big concern because us humans and most complex life forms can't tolerate any type of radiation, but actually simpler organisms can, so that's not as big of an issue as you would think. The next thing would be the presence of nitrogen in the atmosphere, because it's just really important for life in general, for cells to be able to grow and reproduce and everything like that. And obviously oxygen, dioxygen, because that's what allows the cells to be kept alive, right? So you don't need high levels of oxygen necessarily, but if there are, it might mean that there's photosynthesis that's being made on the planet. So yeah, that's basically it. The 6 requirements then are temperature, some water that has to be present, some energy. Radiation is not that much of a big deal, and then you have to have nitrogen and oxygen for it to work. So with all this, can we answer the question, is there life out there? Well, there hasn't been any planets that were discovered it was an absolute yes, there is life on there, because otherwise we would have known about it, right? But it's too early to tell. Yeah, so but it's definitely possible that we find planets with that, and it's also possible that other types of life exist, so non-carbon based life. And with future technologies that we can have and everything like that, it might be possible to find out more about exoplanets and find out more about life on there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.